Welcome to Translating Infinity. They are communicating. Have we forgotten how to listen?
You gotta take this higher.
The distance between what you believe and who you actually are. This is the chasm or the gap that we have spoken of so many times in these messages. This is the gap that is generated in this split state. This is how you are manipulated because you cannot see the truth when you are not willing to be the truth. Welcome to episode 11 of the Translating Infinity podcast. I am your host, Eileen Meyer. In this now moment, I am experiencing the fullest possible feelings of gratitude for my life. For every teacher, every mentor, every student, every family member, every friend, and every foe along the way. What a ride this has been. And like you, all of it has delivered me to here and now. And this is that moment, sitting on this precipice, the threshold, the edge, where everything is about to change again. My life and all that I share is moving into present moment streaming, with little to no editing or concern about my presentation to the world that was before. This is where I invite you into where I am with the practice of the dialogue today, what the connection to the field or Akash feels and sounds like. I believe it will be in the next episode that I will share a recent raw audio file of the dialogue and the transition into communion. While it opened to me in this way because my life intention that I uncovered, my passion for being here in form, was to be a messenger, your passion will also be uncovered and enlivened, and in your own unique ways, if you choose. While you don't need me or others to access and awaken this technology within, sometimes it's helpful just to hear people say these things out loud, to generate a resonance message. It's one way of explaining why I've pumped out so much content over the years. It's about my evolution as an experiencer. I've said this before. You don't have to call yourself an experiencer to benefit from the telling of my journey or the journey of other experiencers that have been evolving simply by engaging consciously with the phenomena. It's phenomena in the beginning, contact, out of body, and lucid connections with these others who visit. But I found no answers or satisfactory explanations in the world for what was happening to me. I found, along with other experiencers that I know, that if we turn off the chatter of the consensus world, stop seeking answers from social media, a distraction factory, and just listen and engage with this otherly intelligence, we can begin to build a relationship with it. And through this relationship, we can learn, discover, rediscover who we are and all that we're connected to. I'll say it again. I'm publishing all of this content to give to those what I didn't have. Reflection, a mirror for something or someone that doesn't fit with the norm, the narratives, so that they don't slip back down into the conditioning, so that they don't just call themselves crazy and agree, once again, to be smaller than they actually are. In other words, all that I have shared over the years, all that I have digitally and directly planted, has never been about me. It has always been about and for you. Maybe I'm a scout, a multidimensional Sherpa, or maybe I offer one map of many for your journey, but just as a reference. We can always check in with the maps of others as we chart a course to self, to source, but at a certain point, we have to let go of our orientation to maps and allow the direct experience. Ignite the guiding navigational system within and expand beyond this fragmented, out-of-phase world that we once thought and were even conditioned to call the real world. I want you to know right off the top, and this is definitely not new, but I will speak from the inner kind of data, visions, downloads, dreams over my lifetime, to say that for many, this is and will be a time of enormous challenge. For some who have discovered and are building a conscious relationship with a higher love or presence, awakening within and guiding them, we simply find that we're sharing it, demonstrating it, without much added thought with our communities and our world. It doesn't mean that we don't experience a challenge, because we definitely do, though it's subtle how this works. It means that we've stopped identifying with the interface we had developed in order to survive in what we were told was the real world. I call it the before world. It was a twisted, left-brained, thought-based construct born from a shaky ground, not founded or rooted in what is actually real. Many who are rising into this new light and awareness of love within and as the foundation of all life are no longer questioning who we are and why we're here. At the same time, we don't have all the answers, but we do trust that we will know everything that we need to know as we fully engage with our passion that is always in service to love. It takes great courage to do this, to break away from the before world, to reorient to the truth of who we are. In a recent message, I translated the Akash, the ether message, that named these humans who are here to do just this, the light warriors. It's the light warriors who have the courage to activate and restore the natural or original design of who we are. And then they radiate the power of this love, demonstrating it, modeling it, just being it. There are many here who chose to do this, to take the lead in this cosmic project. Be born here, feel the magic, lose the magic, rediscover the magic, be the magic. At this stage, I'm shown that some are fully aware of it. Some have absolutely no idea. And most have an inkling, but the conditioning and the entrainment to accept and keep consistency with the smallness has worked very well. And they remain in obedience to the before world. But if they heard or saw other humans being and demonstrating the embodiment and activation of our original design, it would be like a light switch turning on. I got it. I see. It's time. Thank you. I'm here. I remember feeling a hesitation inside myself with that word, warrior. Really? Warrior? Me? It was a clear response. Yes. One must reach deeply into the core to find the courage to be and radiate who they truly are, with no fear, no apology. I know that many of us carry a whole lot of ancestral wounding around being tortured, hung, burned, torn limb from limb, and a variety of other horrible experiences that stemmed from being in harmony with the earth and speaking our truth. And those were dark times, dark ages. Based on the sacred Cholchi Mayan calendar, we are now entering the light, the new sun. It is the time of 13 Baktun, a time for transformation. There is a window, a portal, that began opening in 2012. We're in it. To become conscious of this and act upon it is the role of a light warrior. In other words, one must recognize that we're not in Kansas anymore. One must recognize that we are here for a reason and get moving. It's time to admit that we got sucked into a false presentation of the world and ourselves. It's the nature of the beast. Onward. If there's anger there, get it out. But transcend your victimhood so that you can be more available to this resonant, incoming light. So it wasn't until July of this year that this term light warrior was used in the Sound of Gold transmissions. It's a reference to these souls who are courageously emerging now. In the before world or context, some of them have fallen into the category often named love and lighters, star seeds, light workers, new agers of all kinds. And while they may have felt a sense of mastery with their variety of healing modalities and teachings, many of them are having to shift. Some have been caught off balance as we entered into a much larger context. The message from this light is great, wonderful work inside that previous context. But it's time to add many more dimensions to yourself and your service. So even though we were the ones who were mystical, intuitive, and visionary, and always felt secure in our service to others, there may be signs of depression now, doubt, even suicidal ideation, because it used to work so well. What happened? We're experiencing a huge influx of light. We all have to reorient. No one is immune. And at this time, and in conscious partnership with the ether, the gold light intelligence, we're building a private community away from the sometimes toxic, sticky fly traps of social media. It's so that we may actively discover in community the way forward through this language of resonance. It's not the only community of this nature that will emerge and make itself available in these times. It is but one. And in this moment, the one we're building is set to launch to the public in mid-fall 2022. The landing page can be found at community.lightdialogic.com. I'll have a link in the notes below. I mentioned transcending victimhood. Transcending is about knowing thyself while cultivating an awareness and navigating subtle energy, frequency, harmonics. One is either in tune with one's natural design and therefore in tune with the cosmic symphony, the Akash, the ether, or one is resisting it. There are many reasons why and how this manifests, but in essence, which is what many of us are rediscovering now, the information that arrives in this ether, this light, is what has been missing. Over centuries, we learned to adapt to a reality construct that has suppressed source love by suppressing and demonizing the Great Mother, along with our inner feminine technologies that were designed to commune with this field of light, the Akash. The most popular reference to this is the Akashic field or records. But as I've shared throughout these episodes, I am unable in my translations to use language that has been captured and overused in the distraction factory, in narratives designed to keep us from the deeper meaning of things, the deeper meaning within us. Love is source light, and it transcends all cultural stories and identity, language, race, religion, gender identity, economics, and on and on. And you were designed to be and live in communion with this light, not separate from it. What you see in the world in the form of pain, sickness, suffering, violence, flat out evil, is what can manifest if one loses their connection to this light and loses their will to rediscover it. This is not the fault of those who do suffer. This is what happens when enough of us agree that this is just the way it is. Play the game, suck it up. I tried that. It didn't work well for me. I'm in that phase of rediscovering the magic of who I am and who we all are. A new foundation built upon the rock of truth. I have been shown that there is an evil that rests behind some organized religion, and of course other institutions as well. But some of these dogmatic teachings tell us to be afraid of the demons or the devil that lurks when you don't follow what the middlemen have told you to follow. While there are many well-meaning humans woven throughout all the congregations of the world who may demonstrate the good works of their spiritual teachings, we still need more. To not just cope and make do with all this pain and suffering, but to remember in this window time that we are far more than we were told. In these times, and this has come through the transmissions in my work, we will all meet our Maker, but not necessarily in the way you might think. So the earliest reference in a transmission for this being the time of meeting our Maker was in September 2006. These earlier audio files were lost, along with many others on a digital recorder I had. But thankfully, I did transcribe this one, so I have the text. I will read an excerpt from it. The projected world will be coming to a close. And now we understand that so many feel that this will be the death of all. It is not. You cannot die. But it will be a death, the close of an agreement. With this will be your transformation into your natural state. Now, this is not something that we can give you great details regarding, for humans are accustomed to receiving their insights, their knowing through language, through all that you know here and the way things are structured now. Things will not be structured this way, do you see? You will have a complete worldview shift, and in that shift you will no longer require language in this way, structure in this way. So it would be close to impossible at this point to share with your listeners and readers here what to expect in their new lifestyle, so to speak. It is something that you will experience firsthand. Now, is there anything that you can do to prepare? Well, there most certainly is. It is to choose to be conscious, to choose to meet your Maker while you are on earth, walking in bodies. And your bodies are your allies in this. This is one of the biggest secrets of all time, as you say, that it is your bodies that will be your guide in the coming times. So getting to know your bodies more in a feeling way, not as a study of this part and this part does this and that part does that. What we are speaking of is direct contact with your own bodies. For as we see it, you have alienated yourselves from your own bodies. Never mind the aliens flying around in spaceships that you are so fascinated by. What about the alien that you have created in your own body? Perhaps if you should choose to get to know your own human body and your own feeling nature, you may find that this is a portal to your connection with all that is, in all forms and expressions of life throughout the universe. Interesting, is it not? Your feeling nature is the key, and your willingness to embrace your fear rather than running from it or resisting it. Your willingness to do this will accelerate your connection, your conscious connection with all that is. This is your big secret on your planet. This is your grail. Now, this is feminine in nature because the body is feminine. The body is, in your terms, an expression of the goddess. So what you are doing here is embracing the wounding that has occurred in your separation from the feminine aspect of yourself. Once this wounding is embraced and healed, you will literally open the gates. Open the portal to all that is, where your power, your knowing, the truth of your being is restored. So, as I stated earlier, this was one of the earlier transmissions that points out that the projected world is coming to a close, that we would be meeting our Maker. A rather ominous sounding prediction, but again, this coincides with the Mayan calendar and other ancient calendars. They emphasized in this transmission that it doesn't mean the death of all, but it is the ending of a cycle. What this means is we all have an opportunity with this opening between worlds, the ending of one cycle and beginning of another, to become aware that we are more and have access to more. But nobody can make you see this, let alone act upon it. This whole transmission was to let us know that we have an opportunity to meet our Maker, not by annihilating our form, but to actually reignite our Maker or source light within our form. And all of this is occurring now. The light is pouring in. We can ignore it. Call in sick, pull the covers back over our head, and go back to sleep. And this, they point out, would be our passive agreement to stay out of phase with our natural state. In other words, we aren't consciously canceling this contract, so it automatically renews. We're all familiar with that subscription model. So in keeping with the theme of light warriors, these are the ones who are consciously canceling the contract and are actively orienting to and serving the light, serving love, embodying it, demonstrating it, and modeling the way forward. The following clip is from August 2010.
It is time to meet your Maker. As a human being, in form, keeping the body, not discarding it, as you have done in the past, in order to meet your Maker, to reintroduce the frequency of truth and love into your awareness. Use your awareness now, in form, to meet your Maker and transform your lives. Transform your world. For this is what we hear. But you want, then demonstrate it. It is time to demonstrate it. Be aware of what is thought and be aware of what is feeling without judgment. And it will lead you rapidly to living and being that heavenly creature that you are on earth. This is your rebirth as a fully realized being in form, residing with all the other natural world beings who have been patiently awaiting your birth as well. Who has the courage to begin? For it does require courage. It is not courage to leap off of a cliff into the darkness of the unknown. It is the courage simply to feel and to acknowledge honestly what you feel. Begin. And you will see the truth of your reality.
Sometimes I become ultra aware from the perspective of people that are new to my work, hearing me talk, hearing these messages, or even those who are still trying to place me into a comfortable category or frame. It's so bizarre, isn't it? And then I pop back into my view and I realize how natural it is for me to be doing this, how natural this entire evolution has been. I had to die many times, though, and with each rebirth, I was entering into a larger context, a more expanded view, and I had to adapt to it each time. In some cases, an event would take years to adjust to and integrate, but not so much anymore. It's accelerating very rapidly now. When you hear me confidently speaking about what I have connected to and what I willingly share with you, it's because I am far more oriented to the view of the non-human beings and the field in which we commune than I am to the before world. And yet, I'm still here talking into a microphone to you, still fully in my passion, sending out these messages about who we are to you. I have no expectations for what you or anyone in the future might do with them, though I like to imagine that my life's training or entrainment to the natural state, to the more, might be helpful or have value one day. I've been very busy these past 8 weeks in flow with the inspiration, the passion to build a community platform, in co-creation with Mayan priest Aki Eduardo, and with this non-human intelligence. I'm doing my part, Eduardo is doing his, and apparently they will be joining us. Even though every time I sit down to receive a transmission, especially in a group with others, honestly, there's still a part of me that wonders if I'm crazy, or will they come through again? It takes so much trust. And yet, at the same time, they have never let me down. Ever. I'd like to give a special thank you to those of you who are listening to these episodes and feel that you're benefiting from what we share. So for you, I want to close out this episode with one of the more recent transmissions from July 3rd, 2022. It's called Why We Are Here. And just a quick note, I am leaving in the transition sounds, and I hope I'm using this word correctly. The parasympathetic nervous system seems to engage without thought. Deep breathing occurs. Following this, you'll hear the foreign words that some call light language. More deep breathing, and then the connection and flow of translation without thought. I have not yet become brave enough to share the ecstatic sounds of these connections. People can still be quite triggered by ecstasy. The conditioning is still so great around these sounds belonging to a human sexual act. So there is a bit of cognitive dissonance that occurs with these sounds being introduced as a divine connection. It is truly one of the greatest blessings of my life, and I hope one day to demonstrate this in person. If one has any inkling of an opening into heart, you will feel it. And more than likely, your body will respond in resonance, in coherence, providing a marker of light, a signpost within you, as they, over the course of my life, gave to me. Garabashihonani, perché ti siano nognai. yukutotai, kurotokotai. In this place, that some would refer to as entry into oneness, for most of humanity, it is a place of conundrum. You are on the threshold of the reintegration of your oneness. Now, many can only picture and imagine or think about these things in a conceptual way. This is not a way that serves humanity at this timing. All of these boxes, categories, definitions will be blown wide open, as you say. It has already been given many times in these sittings that this would be the case, that humanity will arrive in the doorway, in the opening, beyond this time-space construct. If you have prepared, if you have engaged with your source creator in whatever way or fashion you may do and practice, if this has been genuine and authentic for you, you will understand what you need to know in any given moment. This is why we have stressed the importance of transcending the fear, of dialoguing your fears, getting them out on the table, as you say, visible, felt, so that they may be transcended, each and every one, so that you may see, so that it may be revealed to you that this has no power over you. It is when fear is unconscious that you are confused, blocked, stuck, and, as we have said many times, highly manipulatable. Because you are stuffing your power. There is great power and light beneath your fears. The fears that have been collected through your life at this time and through multiple lifetimes, occurring simultaneously. And we have also said that it is not explainable. So much of this is not translatable to 3 dimensions, to the polarized reality, where the human being is highly conditioned. There is no way to penetrate this conditioning except through a direct experience. This is why we are here in this way. We are here to offer the direct experience of love. Initially, human beings may not grasp the power and profundity of this statement, of what we are here to offer. For there is still a concept or they have been given stories of what love is. Love is not a concept, it is not a story. It is the truth of who you are, buried within you. And we are here to help you to heal. And to help you reorient to this light that you already are. Now, as we have given many times over the years in these transmissions, each and every individual fragment has a choice as to how they want to proceed from this station that you are all in right now. Everything is changing. What you see and experience from this moment forward will be a reflection of your belief systems. Or, if you are present and lucid and have done the work, dialoguing, feelings, fears, unraveling, choosing to see the truth no matter how painful, choosing to be who you are, no matter the judgment from others around you. This is not an easy path. When you are lucid in this way, you will experience the transcendence, the reconnection, more and more. It will not necessarily come all at once with complete understanding. It will be gradual at first. You will have moments of overwhelm, as you say, and then you will integrate. You will move forward. As long as you keep engaging and saying yes to the expansion. Those who have said no to expansion, and this is primarily in an unconscious way or state, there will be the movement to the reality that best reflects the belief systems. So, as we have said before, you will see what you believe. The distance between what you believe and who you actually are. This is the chasm or the gap that we have spoken of so many times in these messages. This is the gap that is generated in this split state. This is how you are manipulated, because you cannot see the truth when you are not willing to be the truth. So you continue to give your power over to what you are entrained to believe is authority. You have not yet felt that power and authority rise within you. That is original source, creator based, the foundation of this light within you. That is the truth of who you are. And the choice to deny this continuously will perpetuate these false realities, these false trajectories, or trajectories that are not based or founded in the truth. There is no judgment for those who are cycling in this way, looping in this way. There are many souls that are born here in these opening times, in these times of great transition between cycles, that do their best to awaken while in form and to begin to assist those around them through healing work, through new technologies that support the whole human, that integrate with the whole human. There are many technologies now that do not support wholeness. They take advantage of the fragmented state. And these are the ones that are in development now. There is a forced, an accelerated effort to destroy or end what has been, what has come before in the construct. There is a new program that is ready to emerge. And it, as you might see for yourselves, envision, it is not supportive of the whole human or the human soul, for that matter. It is an exploration into changing human beings, shifting them into a kind of being that is transhuman, as you say, machine-like, with less spark or soul within. This will be diminished more in this next cycle. This is for those human beings who, in these times, does not engage and recognize this light within, that chooses, consciously or unconsciously, to move into this next cycle and either explore becoming part machine or explore being one who controls the human hybrid machine being. One who steps into management. This is not new. This control system. What is new is the intention to change humans once and for all. Now, this may sound very dark and disappointing to most who may hear this. We are here to inform you of your choices. There is no death in any given system, any approach to these cycles. Humans may awaken to their own power and choose differently. We understand the challenge of this because we have been in these cycles before. And we return in these openings to connect with you, to help you remember, to awaken, to resonate with the truth, to offer you this vibration so that you may remember through feeling and knowing rather than through only the intellect that is already programmed to keep you looping. You see, what we have learned from this vantage point, you might say, is that humanity is unreachable through the intellect. We send souls in, we gather information, we learn for the next opening, for the next cycle, how we might reach more human beings. This intersection is different this time. For, as we have stated, the intent is to change, foundationally change what a human being is. That is why we are here. We are here to call on the human soul to rise. We are here to heal and to encourage and to inspire. And the only way that we know to do this now, from this vantage point, is to help you feel what you are connected to. The divine light, original source, the mother within you. We are here to help you restore the mother within you. This gives you your full power and abilities to be a demonstrator, to be a light warrior. We are light warriors, and we are stationed beyond the construct and developing these lines of light through those who incarnate at this time, to send these messages to lift them and to help them be these demonstrators, these light warriors. And you would be surprised at how many there are. Some have switched on to some degree. Some have not yet switched on. But understand, as we have given in the past, in these transmissions, in your past, there are many here who do not need to go through a lengthy adjustment. Their switch can be turned on, and they are instantaneously active as a light warrior. All that they need to know is restored within their being. This is more rare, as it is more likely that there will be adjustments to the light that we offer. And that is why we are here, to assist in your reorientation to the light and to your purpose. Once these humans have been reactivated to the divine light, it is our vision and intent that together we lift more of these souls. We support them and reflect back to them and validate the human soul embodied. You see, there is very little data available in this reality to validate what we are saying to you right now. So we say that as quickly as you can, let go of the need for this world that you have been in. Let go of the need for it to validate you. Your validation comes directly from this light. And it feeds you, and it informs you. It restores you. It recreates your path and your relations, your communities. It takes great courage. And we would say that most humans have already made their choice to remain small and unaware. They have already surrendered their power. But do not allow this to discourage you. Rather, allow it to fuel you, to encourage you, to demonstrate to as many human beings as possible what a human being actually is and how powerful they are. Many beings, spiritual masters, have come to demonstrate the light warrior, to demonstrate the truth of who human beings actually are. And they were destroyed, revived later with disinformation, twisted, manipulated to control. We do not need to revisit this. Most that will hear this message will already understand this. This is what is changing for this particular human and her translation abilities. We no longer transmit to those who have already chosen to stay with the next iteration of three-dimensional reality. We are here to broadcast the light, broadcast this food, these waters of life that feed, nourish, restore, reorient those who are expanding. It is a very different reality you are entering into. Be present, be open, feel, inquire, and return here in these meetings for discussion, for healing, for encouragement. There is no stopping at this point. You are adapting to movement and acceleration. There is more to this message, but there isn't always the time to share them here in their entirety. Thank you again for listening and absorbing these light messages. Thank you for your courage to be here. Remember, you are loved and you are made of love. There's a purpose for you being here now. Don't be afraid. We are meeting you in the intersection. And everyone here is saying, welcome home.